All right, let's run through that homework. I meant to see if I could scan it in, but the scanners weren't scanning stuff in. So it was worksheet number 5. If you didn't do it, it's your lucky day. Make sure you follow along with what we're doing. If you did do it, follow along. Make sure you did it correctly. If you have cell phone or iPod or anything like that, make sure it's on the completely off position, and you can keep it on your desk. All right, let's go. Come on, baby. Go over and over, down, clear. Okay, so the absolute value of any number is the distance from 0. So we got to remember that. So remember, distance is always going to be positive unless you have a negative outside the absolute value. So the absolute value of negative 10 is just 10. It's the distance of 10. The absolute value of 4 is just 4. And then we want the absolute value of negative y. Well, we're plugging 5 in for that. So what's the absolute value of negative 5? That's 5. The absolute value of 2x, where x equals negative 3, so that's going to be the absolute value of negative 6, is 6. And then I'm going to go x minus y, so negative 3 minus 5, that's negative 8. Absolute value of negative 8 is 8.
I'm sorry, question. For number 3, is it negative 5 or positive 5?
Unless the negative is outside the absolute value, it's always positive.
Okay,
no
so
exceptions.
Number 1, which is negative 10, it's supposed to be positive 10? Okay, thank you.
All right, and then number 6, I'm going to plug, I have y plus 7, so that's 5 plus 7, that's 12. Absolute value of 12 is 12. Okay, so that's the first 6. And then we move into number 7. So we have x plus 3 is equal to 5. So how many problems will this be broken into? 2. The reason it's broken into 2 problems is you have a distance 2 different ways away from 5. So I have x plus 3 is equal to 5. And then I have x plus 3, and I have to change the sign on one of the sides. I'm going to change the easier side. It's negative 5. So please note that change to that. Okay, the reason that works is because you can have a distance on either side, and the absolute value is the distance, and that's positive. Okay, so from here I'm going to subtract 3, so I get 2 for an answer. I subtract 3 here, I get negative 8 for an answer. Both of those answers will work. If you plug them in, they will work. 2 plus 3 is 5. Absolute value of 5 is 5. Works. Negative 8. Negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5. Absolute value of negative 5 is also 5. Okay? Number 8, though, and then it's a sketch on a number line. So if you had a number line, if you had negative 8 here, then you got 0 here, and then you got 2 here. So you have 2 different solutions right here and right here. So you're just looking for, there's something that's in the middle of these someplace that's going to be the exact same distance. Equal distances on either side is what you're finding. Number 8. Clear ink. X plus 3 is equal to 3. How many problems? 2. Second problem is going to be this. Equals what? Negative 3. Solve it. Subtract 3. Subtract 3. Both those answers will work. They're going to give you the exact same answer. 0 plus 3 is 3. Absolute value of 3 is 3. Checks off. Negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3. Absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3, so that also works. And again, if you did this on a number line, if you had 0 here, and you had, this way, negative 6 here, halfway in between them is what we're talking about, and so you have a distance either side. Now, problem number 9. So let's try and solve it. And then I'm going to change this sign. Let's solve it. So that's going to be negative 11, and that's going to give me 5. Let's see if this will work. Plug negative 11 in. Negative 11 plus 3 is negative 8. What is the absolute value of negative 8? 8. But look what it says it's supposed to equal. So this right here is not going to allow it to work. If I plug 5 in, 5 plus 3 is 8. Absolute value of 8 is 8. Is 8 equal to negative 8? No. There's not a solution here. Okay? So perhaps if you have a negative on one side when you're trying to solve it, this might start pointing to you could have no solution. Now, I wouldn't just jump on board saying, hey, Eureka, we figured out a pattern of all math, because sometimes they will sneak in something in there, like a negative out in front of the absolute value sign, that's going to make it not work. Okay, number 10, the answer is the same as number 7. I already solved it. And number 11, the answer is the same as well. It's already solved. Okay, I just didn't have it on a number line. Okay, use your number line in the locations x plus 3 for problem 7 justify your answers. We did. We plugged it back in. And we did number 13 as well. Okay, so let's come around the room, see how you do with these next ones. Okay, 14, x minus 4 equals 6. Gage, how many problems? 2. First one is this. Second one is what? There you go. So add 4. Add 4. 10 minus 4 is the absolute value of 6, 6? Is 6 equal to 6? That one works. Negative 2. Negative 2 plus 4 is negative 6. What's the absolute value of negative 6? 6. 6 equal to 6? Both those answers work. Good. Pick somebody for me. Mac, you're up, buddy. Number 15.
All right, so x plus 1 equals 9.
Okay.
And x plus 1 equals -9.
I like it. Good job. Switch your problems. So x equals 8 and x, whoops, x equals negative 10. Negative 8 plus 1 is 9. What's the absolute value of 9? Is 9 equal to 9? It works. Negative 10 plus 1 is negative 9. Blech. Negative 9. What is the absolute value of negative 9? 9. They both work. Mac, pick somebody.
Preston.
Preston! Woo! How many problems are we going to make? Good. So x minus half is equal to 3. And x minus half is equal to what? Negative 3. So we're changing only one side. Okay, so if I add half, this gives me 3 1/2. If I can make it 3 1/2. And then if I subtract that, that gives me negative 2 1/2. And 3 1/2 minus half is 3. Absolute value of 3 is 3. That works. Negative 2 1/2 minus half is negative 3. What's the absolute value of negative 3? 3. So 3 equals 3. Both answers work. We all right so far? Woo! Okay, so you should be noticing with the absolute values that you're coming up with 2 answers. Okay? Preston, who am I picking on? Garvey. How many problems are here? What's the second problem going to equal? Thank you. All right, add 7. Add 7. Let's see if they work. 12 minus 7 is 5. Absolute value of 5 is? So 5 is equal to 5, right? Cool. All right, 2 minus 7 is negative 5. What's the absolute value of negative 5? 5. 5 equals 5. It works. I like it. Pick somebody who hasn't been picked yet.
I refuse.
You refuse. All right, Casey, coming to you then. How many problems am I making? 2. Okay? So the first problem is this. And the second problem is equal to what? Giddy up. Negative 7. All right, so I'm going to do the math. Subtract 3. So that gives me this. Divided by 2. That gives me that. I like that. That's 2. Subtract 3 gives me this. Divided by 2 gives me that. All right, let's see if we can make this work. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. The absolute value of 7, Casey, is what? Is 7 equal to 7? Giddy up. All right. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Negative 10 added to 3 is negative 7. What's the absolute value of negative 7? 7. Is 7 equal to 7? Not here. Perfect. Works both of them. Casey, who should I pick on? You don't know? Give me a name. All right, Crystal, you're up. Because I said so.
It's Mr. But if they don't want to pay, can I choose people?
Okay, next time. All right, Crystal, how many problems is this going to make? Huh? How's it? 2. So each of these made 2, so I get 3x is equal to 6, and 3x is equal to... What's taking place here? Oops. Negative 6. So I have a positive and negative because of the distance. I can go this. So this is why it works. I can go this way for a distance and it's positive, and keep looking. I can go this way. It's going to be positive. Okay. So that's why you have 2 different answers. One's going to be positive, one's negative. So x equals 2. I like it. X equals negative 2. Let's make sure this works. 3 times 2 is 6. What's the absolute value of 6?
6.
Good. You threw your voice well. Is 6 equal to 6? Yeah. Okay. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. What's the absolute value of negative 6? 6. Is 6 equal to 6? They both work. Crystal, I'm going to pick it on. What? Who am I picking on? TJ? No. I'm kidding. Start pointing at people. All right, T. Here we go. How many problems do I get, TJ? 2. What's the second problem going to be?
X minus 1 equals negative 1.
There you go. 2. Does that work? Did I do that right? Plus 1. Oh, wait. That should be 0. Jeez. Tell you what, I can't do math to save my life right now. All right, 2 minus 1 is 1. Absolute value of 1 is? Is 1 equal to 1?
Yes.
1 second.
Minus 1 equals negative 1. Wouldn't that be x equals 2? Wouldn't it be x equals 0? Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's a plus. All right, 0 minus 1 is negative 1. Absolute value of negative 1 is? 1 equal 1. Sweet. Who am I picking on, T? Here we go. Anybody you want, except for they've been picked on that. Angelo?
No.
Yeah. All right, Angelo. All right, I think there's a pattern going on here. How many problems am I going to have on this problem? 2. Good. First question's right. You're halfway out of danger. Angelo, what's the second problem going to be equal to? Good. All right. I'm going to add 3, which gives me this, and divide by 2, which gives me this. I'm going to add 3, which gives me this. And I'm going to divide by 2, which gives me this. Feel okay about it? Yeah. All right, let's walk through it. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 3. Oh, wait a minute. What did I goof up on?
I think you messed up on the first.
That should be an 8. Thank you. And that should be a 4. Okay, I'm sorry. Jeez, I tell you. That fall off the ladder this weekend, it was a little further than I thought. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. What's the absolute value of 5? 5. Is 5 equal to 5?
No.
Yes. Okay, plug negative 1 in. Oh, wait, did I screw up on this one too?
Is it just 1?
No, you could on that one.
Yeah, you got that right. You got that right.
You're good on that one. You fell off the ladder.
Oh, yeah, okay. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. What's the absolute value of negative 5? Good. 5 equals 5. Love it. Angelo, who are we picking on? Say what? Who? Ray? Oh, he was afraid to say your name, but he's pointing you the whole time. All right, Ray, how many problems am I going to come up with here? 2, okay? So I'd say I have this, and I have this. Now, my gut is telling me that there's no solution to this, but let's just verify. I'm going to add 12 to both sides. And here's the hard thing. People are like, oh, sweet, we get 2. And over here, oh, sweet, we get 22. Sweet, good deal. 2 minus 12 is negative 10. Absolute value of negative 10 is 10. Is 10 equal to negative 10? No, that one's not going to work. Let's plug 22 in. 22 minus 12 is 10. Absolute value of 10 is? What? Watch, if I plug it in, 2 minus 12, negative 10, right? Absolute value of negative 10 is? Is 10 equal to negative 10? That's why it doesn't work. And this one, same thing. 22 minus 12 is 10. Absolute value of 10 is 10. Is 10 equal to negative 10? No. What's the answer? No solution. Sweet! All right. Stretch real quick. Stand up. Poke your neighbor in the eye. Come back to me in 5, in 4, in 3, in 2. Hurry up.
Okay, guys.
Can you tell us a story?
Nope.
Now, here's a little story I got to tell about 3 better brothers you know so well.
Oh my God.
It started way back in history. Anyone else?
Professor, what's another word for pirate treasure?
Booty.
Booty. Booty. Booty.
Did you like that little Beastie Boys this early in the morning?
Wait, tell us.
Oh yeah, finish that story.
No, Friday.
Oh,
What we should do is tell a different Halloween story.
Do you have any other
We
stories?
should tell ghost stories.
right before spring break, I got the orange story, which is awesome.
What about the
Just
last?
a penny story.
So Steve, you gotta make sure you come back. You gotta make sure you come right before spring break.
Yes.
For the orange story.
It's
It's that good.
Steve,
I don't know yet.
why are you going
What about the?
Huh?
How about you fell off the ladder?
I didn't really.
Oh.
I was cleaning the gutters, and it always comes to mind that I shouldn't fall off the ladder, and I did.
When I was like 5, I was at my, I forget where, I was at like my aunt's house, but they have like a big storm door. I was standing in front of it and somebody like ran out and shoved the door open and it like hit me right in the face and I fell down 2 sets of stairs. Like backwards and I just like,
You want to hear the worst thing? This will get you up and wake in the morning. I'll just wait for Angela to get back so you can stop. So, I was home from college right before I got my teaching, or I was going to be moving to Vegas for my first teaching job. So I was staying in my parents' spare side of the house. It was a weird house, it was split. But there was a French door that you had to open up, and it was like the whole thing was connected. It's just the French door separated from the part of the house. So I go, I don't have shoes and socks on, so I open the French door, and it catches my big toenail. And just, and I'm just like, oh! And I'm on the floor, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and my mom's like, no, not on the carpet, get off the carpet. And I'm like, oh, my toenail's sticking straight up.
oh,
Horrible.
Steve,
That'll wake you up.
you know the bow at Streets of Southland?
Love that place.
I like always wore flip-flops and like all throughout middle school, like even in the winter.
Yeah.
But you know, like their big steel door.
Oh yeah, buddies.
I like ripped that thing open and it ripped my nail clean off.
Oh yeah. I mean, that is such a blessing to have that kind of stuff.
Such a blessing.
Just like shredded.
Have you ever seen
One time I scalped my toe.
That's fun. All right. All right. Ready? Ready? Eyes up here. What is this answer? 3. Everyone feel okay about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on. Now, I love this. I get this. It's good for me. But then I'm going to throw a little curveball. Okay? So I have x squared is equal to 9. So what do I need to do to both sides to get x by itself? How do you undo x squared? Not divide by.
Square root.
Huh?
I mean,
Using
square root
Excel
of 2.
2010.
Cool.
It processing.
Wait.
It was processing it.
Get out of here.
Hey, Excel
Oh, no.
is a good program.
Stuck.
You
All right, there we go.
you square root.
So square root both sides. Okay, so watch it. Eyes up here. So I'm going to take the square root and I'm going to take the square root. Do you agree?
Yes.
So that, the square root in a square gives me just x. And the square root of 9 is indeed 3. But, being I took the square root of both sides, this means that I have to have plus and minus 3 for an answer. Now, why does this work and this one doesn't up here have 2 answers? So this up here just said, hey, I want the square root of a number. This one here said, we have x squared. We want to take the square root of both sides in order to get our answer. So let's see how this would work. If I were to take my answer, if I were to plug in 3 squared, what is 3 squared? 9. Is 9 equal to 9? Everyone's okay with this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, realize I have it in parentheses, and I have it in parentheses for a reason. I'm squaring negative 3, which is the same thing as saying negative 3 times negative 3. Excuse me. What is negative 3 times negative 3? 9. So this gives me 9 for an answer, and this also gives me 9 for an answer. This is why we have 2 answers. So if you have to take the square root of both sides, you're going to get plus or minus answers. Okay? Now, this is a little bit further up, but the fundamental theorem of algebra says whatever component their highest exponent would be, which in this case is squared, means we have up to 2 solutions. Do we have 2 solutions there?
Yes.
Positive 3 and? Okay. Let's go to what our notes say. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, solving quadratics using square roots. Content literature. I could solve a quadratic equation using square roots, simplify the radical. Okay, so that means basically if you get square root of 8, you're going to break 8 down to 4 times 2, so you get 2 square root of 2. And then make sense of the problem and persevere in solving them. Great. And then the habit. I don't know what these are, but I'm just going through them. I will write the example problems in my notes worked out with the correct answers. All right, let's get off the slide that has all language on it. All right, 1 squared is 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared, 6 squared, 7 squared, 64.
100, 121, 144.
Sweet, okay. So that keeps going. That is a forever and ever and ever sequence of events. Do you guys ever realize that there's a pattern of perfect squares? Anyone ever point this out to you? This has nothing to do with the lesson. But how far is it from here to here? How far do I go from 1 to 4?
3.
3. How far do I go from 4 to 9?
6.
5. How far do I go from 9 to 16?
7.
16 to 25.
14.
Almost 9. How much from 25 to 36? That would be 11. From 36 to 49.
13. 15. 17. 19. 21. 23.
So perfect squares have a pattern of odd numbers as the sequence in between them. So kind of just a little bit of useless media, but we'll go with it. Yes, it does.
Oh, cool.
All right, so we have solved linear equations. That linear equation is something that is just x. It's not raised to an exponent. So if you solve this, you get plus 6 plus 6. That gives you 2x is equal to 18, which is x equals 9. So there's one answer there. X is raised to what power on this problem? First. So the fundamental theorem of algebra says whatever the highest exponent is possibly how many answers you would have. If it's raised to the first, I should have how many answers? 1. How many answers do I have on this first problem? Cool. But then we goof things up. We bring along the absolute value. So we go, oh, okay. Well, that's the case. Oh, wait a minute. We just worked on this. We just worked on that. We have 2 different answers. What is that, negative 6? 3. All right. Should be negative. All right. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 minus 5 is 11. Absolute value of 11 is 11. Sweet. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 minus 5 is negative 11. Absolute value of negative 11 is 11. 11 equals 11. So now we get 2 answers when we create the absolute value. All right, so let's try and solve this problem. So I have x squared minus 6 equals 19. So I think if I add 6 to both sides, that would be an okay start. What do you think? Okay. And then if I take the square root of each side, we just did this. Square root of 25 is 5. But because I took the square root of both sides, what do I need for my answer? So look at this. When I take the square root of both sides, it's similar to if I take the absolute value. Now, just kind of off cuff, an absolute value graph, if I graph this, an absolute value graph, you have your xy axis, kind of looks like a V. Looks like that. Okay? But if I graph something like this, it kind of looks like a V, but it's more rounded. So that might be the reason why there might be 2 answers. Might be. Okay? But we'll explore more of that later. You still with me now? Anyone lost? Poke your neighbor in the eye. Yeah.
So the answer is x equals the positive and a negative 5. Just like that.
And the reason why that works? Positive 5 squared is 25. Negative 5 in parentheses squared is 25 as well. Sweet?
Yeah.
You heard him?
So then,
Yeah.
the final answer would be plus negative 5.
Yeah, or you can have positive comma negative 5. But it's easier to do, right? Just the plus or negative of this. That's the accepted way.
I like that way better.
Sweet. Happy to help you. All right, we ready?
Yes.
Is Angelo talking too much?
No.
Tell him to hush up.
Keep talking about
I'd love you for it.
I said Albert Einstein. I thought his autograph.
Let's dogpile Preston right now. All right. Example 1, using square roots. So x squared plus 1 equals 5. So step 1, get x squared alone. So what do you do to get x squared alone on this problem? Subtract 1 from both sides. So I get x squared equals 4. Is x squared alone now?
Yeah.
Okay, meaning it's on one side of the equal sign. Find the square root of both sides. So square root. Hey, sweet, get out of here.
No.
Square root. So x is equal to positive and negative 2. Simplify answer. Remember, there are 2 answers. Are there 2 answers with plus or minus 2?
Yes.
Yes, I have positive 2 and
Negative.
sweet. And it works. What do we got here? You are putting the radical sign. Remember, there will be 2 answers. Can anyone think of a scenario where there will not be 2 answers when you take the square root of both sides?
If it equals 0.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yes, I guessed.
So, if you had x squared plus 5 is equal to 5, and you subtract 5 from both sides, you get x squared equals 0, and the square root of 0 is
0.
0. Now, some people are like, can't you put a plus or minus?
No, it's neither a plus nor minus.
Good.
Well, you could, but it wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, is it technically wrong in this class? No. Would there be a later math class would be like, don't put that? Yes. So, plus or minus 0 is just 0. 0 is signless. It's not positive nor negative. It is the fulcrum in between the positives and the negatives, but it is not a sign itself. And so people are like, yeah, but if you count by evens, good. Odds, yeah, I got you. So, that's it. What else do we got here? There's got to be more slides. Oh, yeah. All right. Uh-oh. Okay. I want x squared by itself. Real close. Real close.
I won't square it.
Not going to square it. I'm not going to divide each side by 2 yet.
Unsquared.
I'm going to add the 32. So we're going to slowly work to get the x squared by itself. So I'm going to add 32. Remember, we're going both sides of the equal sign. So I get 2x squared is equal to 32. Then what? Divide by 2. So x squared is equal to... What is 32 divided by 2? 16. Love it. And if I take the square root of each side, what am I going to get for an answer? Almost.
-4.
Almost.
+4.
No,
Almost.
Plus or minus 4.
Plus or minus 4. Good. You okay over there? Choking on the sunflower seeds?
Don't
Things
let
gotta
it
come
be
with a
like
warning.
awkward.
All right. Shh. So if I take 4 and plug it in, I get 4 squared, which is 16. 2 times 4, or 2 times 16 is 32. 32 minus 32 is 0. If I take negative 4 and plug it in, remember the negative 4 is in parentheses. Negative 4 squared is positive 16 times 2 is 32. 32 minus 32 is 0. So that's why we have the 2 answers. Keep it going. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Add 12s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Add
Divide by
12.
3.
Oh, hang on. You guys are moving quick on me. Divided by 3. Love it. X squared equals 8. What am I doing to both sides? Square root. So now, most people would say, dude, set. I love it. But it's a 3-point problem. I'm taking 1 point off. Anyone want to know why?
We have calculators.
Nope. I want an exact answer, not a calculator approximate. What's the square root of 8?
Oh.
It's less than 3. It's more than 2, but I don't want a decimal answer.
It's 2.82.
Again, I don't want a decimal answer.
2.
2.5.
Again, I don't want a decimal answer.
No,
Two-
two-
oh, wait, 2.4.
I don't want a decimal answer or a fraction answer.
Find out what 8% is.
3.
Find that in fraction.
No.
3.
And wait, 4/5.
No.
No fractions.
All right. The square root of 8 is the same thing as 2 times 2 times 2. Still with me in this story and adventure?
Yes.
Okay, 2 times 2 is?
4.
Times another 2 is?
8.
So you agree here?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for pairs, right, for square root?
2 cubed.
So this is going to be 2 root 2. So my answer to this is going to be plus or minus 2 root 2. That's an exact answer.
So x equals plus or minus 2 root 2.
Yep, x equals plus or minus 2 root 2. So 3-point problem, if you took it down to plus or minus root 8, you got 2 out of 3 points. But x is equal to plus or minus 2 root 2. Because you got to break down the radical, break it down. Remember this was kind of last chapter? Dude, we totally forgot that stuff, man. All right, last problem. Oh, last 2 problems. And this is just a fun slide. Yeah, we'll call it fun slide. Woo! Okay.
So much fun.
But before we get there,
So excited.
all right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Wow, so much fun.
Add 20 to both sides. Good. Adding 20 to both sides. So I get this. Everyone still with me? Oh, don't forget the square.
Then
Divide by 2. And then
X equals 20.
root.
Negative.
This is a 3-point problem. You leave it right there. You get 2 out of 3 points. Where's that last point coming from? 20 breaks down to what times what times what? 20 breaks down to what times what times what?
5 times
2 times 2 times 5. But 5 times 5 times 5, you're almost there. That's 125. You're a little bit off, but that's okay.
It still has 25.
Good. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20.
So just
Right?
4 root 5.
Almost.
2 root 5.
2 root 5. And don't forget your plus or minus. Remember. Woo!
Because that's right.
Thanks.
You
Woo!
okay?
I think so. I think I'll make it this time. Though it's kind of fun to sneeze when you're on EKG. If you're ever on EKG, it's just fun to sneeze. The rhythm of your heart goes. No. All right. So plus or minus 2 root 5. So things that I don't want you to forget. Don't forget the plus or minus. Don't forget the radical. All right. Number 5. Number 5. What should we do? Subtract from 27. Okay. My gut is telling me this might not work.
It's not.
Divide by tree.
-3.
-3 times 3.
No, you're wrong. Yes, you were wrong.
What do you think? It's the square root of -1. No, 1 times 1 is 1. -1 times -1 is +1. Any thoughts?
No solution.
There, if you're close saying no solution, where I'm going to be a little bit of a dork on this is there is no real solution because we're not dealing with a real number. And you're like, what are there, fake numbers? No, but there's imaginary numbers. Yes.
Like my imaginary friends.
The nice thing about imaginary numbers is they repeat every 4. So it's I squared, I to the 3rd, I to the 4th. I to the 5th, the same thing as I to the 6th, same thing as I squared, I to the 7th. But we'll get there at a later time. All right, let's see what kind of homework we got. Dude, what? Oh, you guys love this. Wait. Oh, this makes you happy. Page 73 is your homework, which is worksheet 6. I'm giving you the opportunity to start this. I'm wandering around the room. Let me start saving this. Start working on it. You guys got 10 minutes to start on it. You guys could get like 9/10 of the way done.
Wait, we can. Okay.